Yeah, it was a very emotional moment. That moment was very precious. I feel like whatever I went through was worth it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. Finally today I got time to sit down and do this video. I had been planning to film this video since last week. However, I didn't get time because I've got little one to look after these days. At first I wasn't so sure about doing this video, but while I was pregnant I was watching this sort of videos and it really helped me. So I thought it would be a really good idea to share my delivery experience and my recovery story with you all today. First of all, I'd like to thank all those people who took their time to send me a wonderful message on the arrival of my baby girl Nia. We have named her Nia, which means brightness and purpose. Nia was supposed to arrive on 17th of November, however she didn't arrive on that day, and I was actually quite glad that she didn't arrive on that day because I didn't want it to go on labor on my birthday. I'm sure not many women would like to go on a labor on their birthday, and yeah, she came on 19th of November, 2 days later. I had contraction for 16 hours. Yes, 16 hours, that's a long period of time. I felt the first contraction on 18th of November, Friday, around 2 p.m. while I was out for a walk. By the time I came home, it was fine. I was back to normal again. The second contraction I had was around 10:30 in the evening while I was editing my Get Ready With Me Autumn Edition video. It was quite bearable at that time. Around 11:30 when I went to loo, I noticed that I was bleeding. I was very concerned at that point, so I rang up labor line and explained that I was bleeding. The lady on the phone asked me if it was a mucus one or if it was quite like a period one. I explained to her it was a mucus one with little bit of blood in it. So she explained to me that it is probably that my cervix is opening. Apparently it is called show the first phase of labor. The lady on the phone asked me how long I was having contraction for. That time I had not timed my contraction at all. So I kind of like said to her I was having contraction for 4 to 5 minutes, and she was like, that can't be right. Nobody will have contraction for 4 to 5 minutes. That is too long. And then after that I timed my contraction. I was having contraction for 50 seconds up to 1 minute 20 seconds, and there was a big gap of 4 to 5 minutes. She advised me to go to hospital. In the hospital, the nurse put a belt around my bump area to monitor the baby's movement and to monitor if I was actually having a contraction. It took a few minutes to get the report. The baby movement was fine and I was told that I am definitely having contractions. The nurse also checked how much dilated I was, and she told me that I was only dilated 2 centimeters, so she sent me home. I came home around 1 in the morning and I tried to sleep. However, the pain was getting worse and worse. It was so painful at that point. I felt like maybe I was diluting pretty fast, and some women, they do dilute pretty fast and they give birth, like pretty fast as well. So I was very concerned. I rang up labor line again and explained that I could not bear this pain anymore and I wanted to go to hospital, and I went to hospital after that. It was so painful. It was quite similar to period pain, but it was million times worse than period pain. Honestly, it was million times worse than period pain. I cannot even explain how painful it was. So I was back in hospital. The nurse checked me again, and unfortunately I was only dilated 2 centimeters. I was given paracetamol and codeine to ease the pain. The paracetamol and codeine didn't work at all. She told me that I could stay in the ward, however I would be sharing with other 6 people. At that point I didn't want to stay at hospital because I was kind of like in so much pain that I was moaning and screaming a bit as well, so I didn't want it to disturb other people. So I decided to come back home. I came back home and I decided to have a hot bath to ease my pain. I'm not too sure if the hot bath actually worked, but when I was having contraction I felt like it was not working. However, when the contraction went away, I could feel my body relaxing on hot water. I tried to distract myself from pain, but I have to say I felt it was impossible not to think about this pain. It was so painful. I couldn't think of anything else. I even forgot to do Kegels. I was supposed to do Kegels to ease labor pain, but I've completely forgot about that. Also, a lot of my friends, family and midwife had suggested me to take energy drinks, energy bar with me. I had taken energy bar and energy drink with me, but that was the last thing on my mind. I completely forgot to eat those energy bars. I tried my best to sleep, but I could not sleep whole night. My mom prepared some chicken soup for me to ease the pain. I ate that and I felt so sick after couple of minutes, so I threw up everything I ate. It was quite confusing, you know, because I wasn't so sure when I should call labor line. I didn't want to be pain on the backside, and I didn't want to keep calling them. After 12 hours I rang up labor line and explained to them I could not tolerate this pain anymore, and they advised me to go to hospital. I went to hospital, and luckily I found out I was diluted by 3 centimeter and I could stay in the hospital. I was given gas straight away to ease the pain. The nurse told me to inhale the gas when the contraction starts, and as soon as the contraction stop, I have to stop. I would say the gas actually made me feel a little bit kind of like tipsy and made my body light. It did work to a certain extent, however it was still painful. I could still feel that pain, so I decided to go on a hot bath, and I was there in a hot bath and also had a gas with me on the side. And yeah, I was in hot bath for a couple of hours. After that I came back to bed and I asked the nurse what was the other option to ease the pain, and she told me there was this injection that goes on to the thigh, which is slightly stronger than gas and which will make me feel sleepy, and I could sleep after taking that injection. The other one is of course epidural, which goes on the back, on your spine. However, she told me that there is risks associated with epidural. The risk is that I must suffer from severe back pain in future, and also the baby might have to be taken out with forceps. I was supposed to say midwife, but I'm not sure why I said nurse. Apologies for that. So yeah, I asked the midwife when she would check me next. She told me that she would check me in 3 hours, and I was like, I cannot bear this pain for another 3 hours. I also asked her how long will labor last, and she was like, it can last 24 hours, it could be 2 days. She could not give me exact time frame. After hearing all that and weighing my options available, I went for the injection on the thigh, and yeah, she told me that it would work within like 15 minutes, and guess what, that 15 minutes felt like the longest 15 minutes of my life. Instead of 15 minutes, it actually felt like 1 hour. By the time the injection kicked in, I remember it wasn't very clear. I was awake, but I wasn't that awake, I would say. I was a bit like feeling very sleepy at that point, and suddenly I could hear midwife saying to me, oh, you are diluted by 10 centimeter, now is the time to push. And then that time I was thinking, oh my god, how am I going to push this baby? I have no energy left on my body. I've not eaten anything. To be honest, I had no idea when I was supposed to push. The midwife was so helpful. She told me to push, and then I started pushing. But I only pushed it once and then stopped, and she was like, you are not pushing the right way. And I was like, oh my god. She told me that I had to push like I was pushing poo out of my body. And it kind of like made sense as well. So on the next push, on the second one, I pushed it really hard, and she told me that she could see the head, and she was like, oh no, you have to push it like really hard now. And I was trying to push really hard, but I couldn't push. After that, the contraction stopped as well, and the baby's head went inside again, back again. So I had to redo it all again on third push. It took me about 35 to 40 minutes to push, and I think it was on my fourth push she came out. Right before the third push, my hubby remembered that we had taken energy bars, so I had that energy bar. Also at that point I was very scared. I was scared that I might not be able to push hard enough and I might end up having a surgery. That fear and that energy bar really helped me. I pushed with all the energy I had, and she came out. As soon as she came out, she was wrapped in a towel by midwife, and she was put on my chest, and she latched on my breast straight away. I could not believe that I actually gave birth to her. I managed to, push her out. It was quite an emotional moment. After I gave birth, the midwife was like, you have done a brilliant job. You can come back again to have another baby. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. She was really, really nice, and she was very helpful. I stayed in hospital overnight, and the staff were very, very helpful. They also told us that we can stay another night if we want to, and if we are not confident about feeding. However, I wanted to come home next day with Nia, so I asked them if they could discharge me. So we came back home next day. It took me about 4 weeks to recover. I had few stitches down there. I also lost a bit of her blood, so I was on iron tablets for about a month. I'm breastfeeding her at the moment. At first I had to feed her formula milk because I was not producing enough milk, and it took me about 3 days to start producing breast milk. I have had so much help from the health professional. As soon as I was discharged from the hospital, the next day midwife came to see me and Nia. Also we had our 6-week check, and Nia and me, we both are doing very well. I'm so grateful for all the help you get in this country. It was quite a painful experience, but I would say it is one of the amazing experience. As a woman, I feel complete today. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you find this information useful, and I hope I didn't put off anyone from having kids. If you would like to see more from me, then please do subscribe. Till then, take care. Bye. Cheerio.